Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I wanted to talk about natal Venus Chiron aspects. I'll do more videos going into each specific aspect separately, but I just wanted to kind of do a general video of the vibe and the energy of these Venus Chiron aspects because it's something I've noticed too in doing. Now I've got this new session, you guys, it's called an astro healing session, where I do astrology and healing, and also in having natal Venus in conjunct to Chiron myself, and Venus being in my first house too. It's quite a theme for me. It's been quite a theme for me. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about these Venus Chiron aspects and the kind of beliefs, the kind of energy that these people carry because it's very significant. Now, before I talk about all the difficult things, I want to talk about the good part of this because if you have this aspect, you might be tired. You might be feeling like, why doesn't love ever work out for me? Or, why do I get myself into all these confusing relationship scenarios, right? So, with Venus Chiron in aspect, it's like you've had lifetimes of pain and hurt around love. You've had like massive heart betrayals in this lifetime, probably, but also from other lifetimes. And you are here to be a student of love. You are here to be a vessel for a higher form of love, a healing form of love. That's ultimately, Chiron's biggest purpose in our natal chart is pain into wisdom or pain into gold, turning all of that emotional pain and gunk and suffering and energy that's just, been so hurt, been so defeated, and turning it into your wisdom, your what you're teaching others, or what you've overcome in yourself, you end up helping others with. So with Venus Chiron in aspect in your natal chart, one of your big lessons is going to be around love. Even with the easy aspects, you're still going to see that, although for them it tends to work out a little easier because they're easy aspects. But with all Venus Chiron aspects, the thread is there. The belief is love hurts, love is pain, kind of like that song, Love Hurts, right? Like, look up who wrote that song and if they have Venus Chiron in aspect. I bet they do. um, because that's kind of the theme here of Venus Chiron is love hurts. And they also tend to get involved in interesting relationship scenarios, almost like a Venus Uranus person, where they end up in unconventional relationships or they end up being the side person or the mistress kind of energy. And even if they're a man, they can still be that side person as well, or the side piece energy. They end up like in those kind of situations, or they end up in relationships that are very unconventional or very confusing to them or to the outside world. This is the person that kind of similar to Venus Uranus, except the difference that I would say is that, Venus Uranus can sometimes be kind of cold, breaking out of relationships rather easily. I would say that a Venus Chiron person would have a hard time shutting off their feelings or stopping loving someone. It's not a quick thing, unless we have Venus in Aries, and we could see it be a little bit quicker, but that's mainly the difference. So they still get in all these weird relationship scenarios, but they don't have that quickness of a Venus Uranus person to jump in and out and like go from hot to cold. They're not like that. The heart is very open. The heart is probably too open, okay? It's too open at times. So, the advice for some people, to keep your heart open and stay open to love. It's probably not needed for people with Venus Chiron aspects because their heart is too open almost. Like and so in that regard, it's almost like a Venus and Pisces energy. So it's very interesting how these aspects play out, although it's not quite as sacrificing or subservient as a Venus and Pisces energy, but it is a little bit. You can even see them in relationship scenarios where they are being taken advantage of, they are being used, or and for some reason they feel like, because they feel like love is pain, right? That's the deep imprinted belief, is that they're meant to suffer in love, so that is how they can be okay with these situations that are not healthy or not truly fulfilling for them, you know? And you have to look at the sign placement of Venus too, and like what aspect between Venus Chiron that's being made. The Venus conjunct Chiron is going to be more like a new beginning where, there's equal potential for pain and growth. It's the most powerful aspect. The themes are going to be the strongest. The square and the inconjunct are probably going to be the most difficult. The inconjunct is really awkward and difficult to balance, and it takes a long time to sort this out because it's very unconscious, and the way that you act in love, it doesn't make sense as far as your Chiron goes. So it's like you keep acting in ways that bring you pain, but you don't realize it because the inconjunct is very unconscious like that. The square is just a constant getting in and out of painful scenarios, constant tension, but it actually, the growth can happen faster, the realization can happen faster, but it is probably more severe and more painful. And then the opposition, whenever you have an opposition in natal, it's similar to the square, except there's often a projection where I'm not in pain, but I attract these people that are in pain, or something like that, where we project it onto other people. So I'll do separate videos on like all of the individual aspects. The sextile and trine are going to be, more beneficial. They're going to easily see themselves as like the love healer, and like they can still have that tendency though to pick people that need healing, or the relationships definitely can be painful still. There can be more hurt, but it's like they have an easier time dealing with the pain and hurt. It's not so catastrophic as with the other aspects, but they still it's still, even with the sextile and trine though, they're still going to have the beliefs about love hurting. They still could have some subservient tendencies. Like it's, even with a sextile or trine, you almost don't know how an aspect is going to play out for someone, because someone with a square could handle it really well, and then someone with a trine could just like go completely insane, because it's either way the energy flow is open, right? So you have to look at the person, look at the whole chart, and because sometimes trines, because they're so easy, you can open up a valve there with the energy that ends up being even more painful. But usually, as a generalization, the sextile and trine are going to be easier to deal with. But in any aspect, beliefs around love need to be looked at, need to be dealt with in order to have fulfilling love. And also, the other aspect of Venus is self-worth. And so the self-worth in these people can be very shaky. They can only feel self-worth through the eyes of another, which is very dangerous. So it's like they can be very needy because they have a hard time seeing themselves without being reflected through the other person. So they can feel very good about themselves as long as they're eliciting perfect responses from other people at all times, which is impossible, of course. So the need here with Venus Chiron aspects is to build up that self-worth and, imprint the belief, through their DNA, through their cells, that I don't need to be accepted to be loved. I don't need to, fit in a box, because this is a very unique individual. This is a person with very different ideas about love and very different energy around love. They're kind of like an alien in regards to love and self-worth. And they need to learn to accept themselves and realize they don't need that reflection to be positive in order to feel self-worth. Okay? So, and that's not an easy thing, because it's very unconscious that they're doing this. So you can get people-pleasing tendencies with Venus Chiron for that reason. And yeah, sexual issues, um, issues around self-worth and confidence and love are very common, and these are major themes. These are things to be worked out, things to be worked on. And it's definitely not easy, but I would say that these people, like I said, are students of love. They are here to learn lessons in love, and they're not going to be able to escape that. And, some kind of healing work, belief work, recognizing they are lovable for who they are, not just for what they do, or not just when they're receiving a positive response from the world or from the partner, developing a true self-love and a love for their uniqueness, and a knowing that they are here to experience some different relationships and um, different kinds of energies around love. So their love life, it might not look like the rest of the world, but that's okay. They're meant to learn lessons in love. This is a big one, and you can rewrite that belief that love is pain. You can stop that cycle. You can have a truly fulfilling relationship, because Chiron is supposed to be pain and then healing and then your wisdom. So what can happen is you have to go through the pain, you have to go through the hard relationships, but then once you do, your relationship ends up being like a healing relationship for the world. So like the relationship that you end up being in that's actually healthy, right, for both of you, it ends up being like such a beautiful expression of like the divine, that you end up being, you could be a teacher on relationships or a teacher about love, right? That's like the ultimate high purpose, is that because you have this very different energy around love, you end up, becoming like the teacher of love, and your relationship is like a living example of the divine love, of a true, compassionate, unconditional divine love. And that is possible. So, and I'll do the individual aspects at some point too, but I just wanted to do a rough generalization video of Venus Chiron aspects in the natal chart and what I have found. So I hope this was helpful. Love you guys so much. I do offer natal chart readings and synastry chart readings. My links are below. Thanks for watching. Talk soon. Bye.